morning, girls, and welcome to my channel. Today I just want to share my trying to conceive journey of baby number 2. And in May we decided that we wanted to start trying for another baby, and so I waited until my June period, which was the 11th, it started, to call my doctor and schedule an appointment to remove my IUD, and they scheduled it for the next day. So June 12th I went in and had my Marina IUD taken out. You can get it out anytime, but during your period it is much quicker and easier and less painful to get it out, so I just waited till my period to do that. And then I got super excited and started researching a whole bunch of stuff about pregnancies and stuff, and I bumped into methods of swaying towards a specific gender, and I've never heard of that, and I'm like, what is this stuff? So I started researching like crazy, and the most popular one I found was the Shettles method. Not exactly sure if it's from the 1960s, 1970s. Dr. Shettles created that method. And then another method is called baby dust method, which is the most recent method that I found from 2011, 2012, around there, those dates. And so I'm like, well, what they suggest is to track your cycle and ovulation 3 to 6 months prior to trying, but I'm like, well, we want to try already, so I'm just gonna try and wing it. And luckily the month before I actually knew exactly the day I ovulated. It was May 29th. I had cramping, and it was mostly on my right side, so I'm guessing that's where I was my egg was maybe coming out, or from the right side. And then so I've been tracking my periods for a couple months, but with the IUD they were just everywhere, not very same every month. They were like all over the place. But the last month before I took it out, it was it was 34 days, and I knew what was going on. So, and then I had an app. I used the Fitbit app, and it had like to track my cycle, and the period prediction and the ovulation prediction was correct. And so my next ovulation, I think it predicts July 1st or July 2nd, and which I think will be correct. I read a whole bunch, and how many days do you ovulate after your period, and it lines up, so I think that should be correct. And I also bought some ovulation tests to make sure that around that area. So the Shettles method, they recommend for swaying for a girl, which means you tip your odds towards one gender. It's not guaranteed, it's just you try, and it tips your odds of having one gender over the other. With the Shettles method, they recommend like a diet. They recommend trying to conceive 2 to 4 days before you ovulate. So if you stop at 2 days before ovulation or 4 days before ovulation, then after that you don't have sex or protected sex until your ovulation, and then a couple days after ovulation. And then they have positions, and the girl can't have an orgasm. And then for the baby dust method, I couldn't find a lot of information about it. You have to buy the book, but I did join their Facebook group and asked a lot of questions and read what other women wrote, and theirs is just mostly timing. They think that the Shettles method isn't right, that dieting and all the other stuff doesn't help, that only timing is the most accurate, which I think timing is the most accurate, but diet might help as well, and other stuff might help a teeny bit, but if you really want one gender, that teeny bit will go a long way. So I decided that I would try and wing it and see, because when you sway towards a girl, there are chances that you won't get pregnant at all because you're doing it a couple days before you ovulate. So it just depends on how your body works. So they recommend just ovulation test strips, and I didn't read that after I bought my, I think there's something blue that just have like a flashing smiley face when you are fertile, and then like a solid smiley face where you're peak of your fertile, and then just a circle when you are low, like low chances, like you're not fertile. So that I knew the area of where I'm supposed to ovulate. I started testing June 27th, and then I tested, and I had, which was Wednesday, I had a circle that was empty, so it said that I am not fertile. And then the 28th, on the baby desk group, I asked them, and they said that if you're swaying towards a girl, that you should stop on the 28th, just to be safe. If you have it maybe the July 1st ovulation, or maybe even the 30th of June. So they said to stop at 28th, so that is what I did. So I tested on the 28th, and I got a flashing smiley face, so that means I am fertile, but I'm not at the peak of fertile. And then the 29th, which is today, I tested again in the morning as soon as I woke up, and I have another flashing smiley face. So I'm fertile, but I am not at the peak of my fertileness where I'm gonna ovulate. So I will test tomorrow's the 30th, and then I have the 1st and the 2nd, which is, I have about 3 days. I will test more, and we'll see, and I'll see if I have cramps again on the day I ovulate. And so that's how it works. That I'm kind of winging it this way towards a girl. This is what I did, and I will so I tried to have a diet. So I didn't keep the diet to a T. I just did some research, and what they recommend is low sodium, so no salty foods, no processed foods, so more like greens, dark greens, salads, fruits. So it's more of a magnesium and calcium food, no potassium, so no bananas according to them. I think they said no avocados, but I still had avocado. So I tried to cut out processed food and had very, very little. Had more like salads, rice with chicken. I think they said chicken was fine, but beef was more lenient for boys. So I practically had no beef, but they recommend starting that diet maybe at least a month prior to trying. But I started the diet when I started trying, so we'll see. And lots of milk, so milk products, yogurts, and stuff high in vitamin C, so orange juice, oranges, I bought some green juice, and then it said missionary position is more towards a girl, so I've been doing that. And then the sad part is for a girl, when you try, the woman cannot have orgasms, so I've been doing that. And then let's see, diet position, no orgasm for a girl. And then now I think the last one is where we stop trying to conceive on the 28th, and then from here they recommend once you stop, no sex for 6 days, which I'm gonna try and do, or at least have protected sex but still no orgasms just in case. And we will see how that works. And if you want to sway towards a boy, then you don't avoid or have protected sex up into ovulation day. So like on the day you ovulate, or the day you ovulate and the next day you try and conceive. So you try and conceive 2 days, and for a girl is 1 day, according to the baby dust method. And I think that's pretty much what I've been doing. And so if I do ovulate within 3 days, I will have, I think I should, and then after that my period is supposed to come 2 weeks. So if I don't get pregnant, my period should come July 15th. And if I do get pregnant, it shouldn't come, and at July 15th I should be able to test and hopefully get it positive. And I will do a live pregnancy test video, so if you guys want to know if I got pregnant the next month, just stay tuned and I will have a video of a live pregnancy testing. So yeah, and if you guys like trying to conceive and pregnancy videos, stay tuned and subscribe, and I will have just my whole progress and how we're trying to conceive and what I do, and just kind of like the whole process. So see you guys till next time. Bye.